28-1 since we started off 1-2. I don't know if you know that. We were 1-2, and we started. If you remember, the next day back, what did we watch?
Film.
What wasn't film of another team? It was film of you. If I'm not mistaken, Jasmine got blistered pretty good.
Us two coaches.
But there's a point to it. Then what happened the next day? What did we do? Pick a tape, right? Put a tape in.
Oh, from your old teams.
From our old team. What was your reaction to that? Say that again?
When we started to think we were walking compared to what they were doing.
I think one of you might have said, Coach, I don't know if I can go that hard.
It was more than one person. I thought it was Kevin who said that. Kevin who? You.
I don't think I did.
But I think the fact that you saw that tape, and again, I think the fact that you then had something to compare to, because you haven't had anything to compare to over the last 2 years, but you finally had something to compare to. I don't know if it had, how much of an effect it had, but I do know we've gone 28-1 since that time. And certainly, we've played a lot harder. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, since the tournament, it was like a reality check for us. Like, I think for like a lot of us sophomores, we just kind of expected to come into this year and just like be good by ourselves just because we're all like returning, like why wouldn't we be, And then the tournament happened and then we just kind of like, things were like obviously like that period for like those 2 weeks were not fun at all. And yeah, it was like a big eye-opener, like watching film on us and then watching that film and then, like you said, like we had something to compare us to instead of just last year's team where like we assumed we were going to get better. We had no sophomores to like know what your expectations were because they were different from what we had in mind.
What did you think, Sarah? Because you never really talked about that stuff.
About what?
Looking at both tapes, did you see a difference?
Yeah. It was just from, I think us not knowing like what your hard was our freshman year and then not really seeing those tapes at all. It's just like, what the heck? We were just going through the motions.
I thought I was going hard though until I saw the video. But now I see.
We even got Jordan to look like there was a sprint in it.
I tried.
What did you think, Heaven?
God didn't give us me. She sings
Well, like Sarah said, watching the film on us and then watching the film on them was like completely different. I thought I was going hard and stuff like that, but compared to that, it was like a job and stuff.
Well, I wish you guys were back next year because what you're going to see, and I don't want to talk about next year, is you're going to see the 6 freshmen that are coming back. And what you're going to see is them start getting into the incoming freshmen about hard, what actually hard is, which is what you guys didn't have an opportunity to have. You didn't have an Ali Orlich or a Kiora Wari or a Nina Gregory getting in you saying, hey, look, that's not acceptable. You just had me. And after a while, that just got old. So I think more than anything else, probably the tape had an effect. I'm not going to say it turned our season around, although certainly the timing was right. Because after that, as I said, we won a pretty big tournament, beating Diablo Valley and Mission. And then after that, we won another couple tournaments, and our only loss, you have to remember, is a 1-point loss. And we had a good look in that game to win it. So we came really close to going undefeated after that game, or after that weekend. So in reality, probably, as I told you earlier, maybe the best thing that happened to us was going 1-2 and losing those games. I mean, at the time, it didn't feel that way for me or for you. But I think in the long run, looking at those tapes and seeing what we consider to be Fresno City hard, as opposed to what you consider hard, had a lasting effect. I also think that it snowballed on us. Once you had some success, you wanted more success. So I think at the end of the day, you we started realizing that we could be pretty good, and I think that helped carry us to where we're at today, which is hopefully a chance to win a state championship.